I think I made a mistake on AI, and I wasn't worried about AI as I should have been. And and even though this revolution may yield some benefits, it is not for the best. Look, we or I am an audiobook narrator. Even though it's for a hobby and even though I make a little money from it, um, AI just cannot be a part of this industry. I am sorry. If you want to come on my channel and learn all the tools and all that you need to know to create an audiobook, I'm happy to have you. But I will not teach you how to use AI to do it. No. No, it ruins the art. And in all the movies that that might use AI and all the parameters and even this AI actress that's literally just in a computer, it damages the artwork and it damages people like me trying to make a little extra money on the side, trying to get by and stuff. And and it's like, if AI is taking all the jobs, even the fun ones like audiobook narrating and acting and voice acting and all that stuff, what is, what's our, you know, do we have anything, um, is there going to be any work for us at all? Maybe a physical labor job like, a tradesman because the AI robots apparently can't even you know, sweep the floor, or they're having difficulties doing that at this point, and cleaning the floors and all that stuff, and even carrying, a box downstairs, you know, can't do that apparently, you know, but even with all the pivot tables, and if you're an admin assistant, you know, it's coming for your job too. And the only way I see us winning this is if we just reject it all. Log out of Grok, log out of ChatGPT, log out of Gemini, log out of Canva AI if you have that one, and just don't use AI tools at this point. I don't know what to say at this point. Have I used AI in the past? Yes. Have I used Grok? Yes. Have I used ChatGPT and in video and all this stuff? Yeah. Honestly, it's fun to produce it and and make jokes and make funny situations. But it is getting dangerous out there. You could put real people in fake situations, and that damages their careers, that damages them as a person. It could break up marriages, it can end relationships and just leave people devastated. And and as much as I'm a free speech absolutist, you if anyone does that, that is a form of defamation. You're not allowed to do that. And it's like libel, slander. There are consequences and you need to pay fines for that. I don't know how we even prosecute that because that could really damage someone as well. And there are courts in the United States right now that are you know um allowing for AI videos, either because there's no specific law stating that they can't for evidence to convict a criminal, or that they can't even decipher it. And that's scary too. I was watching this video of a coyote chasing a roadrunner, and the guy, filming it in the shotgun part of the car, it looked so real, like a coyote and and a roadrunner, and I couldn't tell, at least not in the moment. And then the guy's like yelling, "Yo, what is this?" Like, "Yo, we're in a live Looney Tunes episode right now," and it's like, and and I mean, it, the coyote was very close to the roadrunner, but I just couldn't tell at this point. And honestly, I don't know how fast roadrunners run or how fast I think coyotes can go 40 miles an hour if I'm not mistaken, but it looked very real. I didn't see any pixels. It was like, the sun was going down in the video, or at least it seemed like it. And it's like, yo, bro, we're in a live Looney Tunes episode sort of thing. Like, I mean, sometimes I can tell with a tint and if it's like the middle of the day in a video, or if it's like daytime in a video, I can tell, but it is getting scary out there. It is getting scary. And even, you know, I mean, 2 years ago, we were, you know, the Will Smith was like 2 or 3 years, Will Smith was like barely eating spaghetti and stuff. But now we're seeing like realistic videos too. And audiobooks are just going to be, easy for anyone to come in, administer their audio and essentially get it on ACX. If it's not already there, I have not seen any updates that allow it. But you, once audiobooks become available, or, you know, even though I'm not necessarily sure that ACX allows it, or if Chirp or Scribd or Spotify allows it, um, there's going to be a way to skirt around this in like 2 months if it's not already there already. And there probably is something too. Like I've seen these speech to these text to speech and like, give a sample of your voice and stuff. And like you can literally manipulate people's voices at this point. So I'm still a little concerned on how that could actually happen, when they allow it on the back end. And and I don't know what detector you can use to even, detect, oh, this is AI. And what if it's a false positive sort of situation? So do I want AI banned? Yes. For the most part, yes. Unless it's, but all of this stuff, like even to produce a photo, it goes through a data center and it uses so much water and liquid and and electricity that that could use like combine that with like two New Yorks and a San Diego and what do you get? What do you get with that amount of power that's required to just power maybe a few data centers? That is not going to be sustainable for either the data center or the people. Electricity bills are up. Like it's going to be more to pay into electricity than to rent soon. And and it's not looking good. So I'm going to call for this right now. I'm calling for this. Log out of your log out of or delete your AI accounts. You know, if you have photos that you want to download that you've created and just want to keep them on your hard drive, fine, keep them sort of thing, but just like let people know, yeah, this is AI still. But I think if you come across an AI video that you know is an AI video on a social media platform, just skip right past it. Don't give these people don't give these people attention at all because and and I might just unlist um you know I'm gonna unlist one of my videos too at this point, that AI video of the steamed hams that I used in video for, because I don't care at this point. I want people to know me. I don't want people to know AI Adam. I want them to know the real Adam. Because if I allow this to happen, I mean, the pushback is like everyone's wanting to put AI in everything right now. And right now, I forgot who said this. It, maybe it was Kolinsky who said this. Yeah, it was probably Kalinsky. Okay. Yeah, the economy right now is AI, OnlyFans, and sports gambling, or just gambling in general, like Kalshi, because right now you can bet on everything at this point. You can even bet on whether we're starting a war with Venezuela. Newsflash, we are starting a war with Venezuela very soon. But back to the AI stuff. The, you know, with all the AI stuff as well. And speaking of sports, what if what if someone you know, manipulates their performance in a video they send to a scout? I mean, yes, the scout could, you know, the scout might pick that one person over another one who didn't appear quite as well in a different video, who should have gotten the slot or should have gotten the chance to get recruited in, let's say, college or a draft for a professional sports league. That is going to do some serious damage, and I want everyone to just reject it. Let's go read books. Let's go make real artwork, whether that's physical or even in a digital sense, like audiobooks, but let's make it our own. You know, you know, what was the speech in Transformers One where Orion is talking to the miners in the mine and he after he beats up Darkwing, what was it again? Um, I went to the surface and I discovered the truth. We were all born with transformation cogs. Sentinel uh, took our freedom. He stole our freedom, and now I'm giving you your first real choice. You can work a 23rd shift, mine yourself to death, fight back with me right now. The miners ask, how are we supposed to do that? We don't have cogs. And then Orion looks to them. It's not the cog that makes the transformer, but the spark that resides within them. And that spark gives you the will to make your world better. And and it's the heart. It's not the muscles. It's not your exterior. It's what it's your spark and your drive. It's your heart and your drive that makes the difference, that makes the choices that can that can transform a generation and transform, yeah, pun intended on that one, and we can make a difference too. And I want to see many people have a creative job like mine, or a creative job like what I do with audiobooks. I want them to see this. I want them to do this, to wake up every morning, to go do something they love, because this life is short and I want to make a difference. Whether it's the audiobooks themselves that I have read and written, nothing else. It's all me. Growing Baseball was probably the best one I ever wrote, you know, because I love baseball and I love audiobooks, and I did for myself. And I did it to entertain people, give them some facts, and just have fun with it because that's what life should be about. Creating a better place with one good deed at a time. And sometimes that's entertainment too, you know, but I want to see a world where we creators, YouTubers, authors, audiobook narrators, actors, voice actors, you name it. I want to see us in control of our own labor and our value and not be replaced by these clankers because talked about robots making a difference and I use the term clankers, but I don't want these AI drones just lifelessly putting something into something that we're going to consume. Can Grok produce a funny video? Yes, it can, but sometimes going back to the classics, going back to the Looney Tunes, going back to what made, animation good and videos good and all this production stuff good. And what made, the very early YouTube videos so memorable and the LimeWire stuff too of like the mid 2000s and the mid 2000s to the 2010s was a great time to be um, a teenager. 2007 to 2013 for me was when I was a teenager, or even up till 2014 though, but that's besides the point. Oh, you know, I it was a great time to be a teenager. It was because AI didn't take over yet. Things were still stable. There's nothing really controversial going on. I mean, at the time, but just it seemed like, late 2000s to early 2010s seemed like the best time to be alive, personally, at least in the United States. And, do I want to see a return to that? Oh, baby, I do. I really do. And and I, and I don't know what's going to happen with AI in the future. I don't. I want to see AI just get dismantled. You know, we see, we see what's going on with Palantir and what the military industrial complex is doing and essentially generative AI too. Um, and if we the consumers aren't buying the AI, guess what? There's not going to be as much of an investment in it and as well too. But people are going to use that to pass the buck off to abdicate their responsibilities. And guess what? You're responsible for yourself. And and the moment you leave your decision making up to a computer or a stupid clanker is when you lose yourself. And you shouldn't lose yourself. You shouldn't give up your principles because that's how societies collapse. And we can't let this happen. We just can't. I The Washington Capitals game is on right now, and then I remembered to myself, I get to I can just turn off the computer and go watch it. I don't need to be bogged down by AI bots. There's no actual function for me to use it at work, or there's no actual benefit to me. Would it help my work go faster? Yeah, but to what degree do I? And also, it learns from you too. Why are you giving this your information? Have you learned nothing from the 2000s, people? This is, I want to see, these AI companies go under because they're a detriment to society. It's worse than smoking cigarettes to some degree. And and all the sports gambling stuff and all the sports betting too has also damaged so much. The Emmanuel Clase thing, NBA refs getting, into it, and there's probably some shady stuff going on with the NFL. And there was supposedly an AI phone call to Shadow Sanders at one point, um, or if it was just college kids as well, you know. And also, there's like a bunch of AI, you know, videos going on right now, and it's not like the memes of the 2010s where they, you know, it's now just computers making fun of everything too, and you can tell sometimes. whether it's an AI video just by like a hand or something, but sometimes you can't. Kalshi, even with the commercials with Kalshi, you know, you can trade on just whether or not there's even going to be a government shutdown in the next, 40 plus days or 50 days or so. I we cannot allow this. We just can't. And and I want to do everything to fight back and whatever it takes, I'm going to do whatever it takes, for humanity to win. And sometimes these people don't want humanity to win because if they're so invested in Clanker, they're not, they can't have your best interests as a human being. These companies can't do that. These corporations can't do that if they're so invested in bots and machines, over human lives. You know, Humanity first. Screw the clankers at this point. Screw them. Human beings come first. You know, over bots, over numbers, over everything. Because, you know, 8 billion people in the world. Let's take care of the people before we take care of the machines. And if the machines can't take care of us, or if they're a detriment to society, then maybe they should be banned. All right, that'll do it for this video. Please be sure to like, comments, share, and subscribe. Go make yourself an audiobook. Go, um, go teach your kid. You know, I'd also want to see, kids make it for them, make an audiobook for themselves and learn how to sell it to on the marketplace. I think that would be a great project for you to get started with. So go create something beautiful, whether it's an audiobook or a piece of art. Go do it and screw the clankers.